This is video 59 of 101. This video is about the brain. I think the human brain is one of the most incredible things that nature has to offer. In fact, incredible is not even the good word for it. Magical is the right word for it. And we may not think that it's magical because we're so used to it and everyone has it and we know that it's in there and we use it every single day, every single second, in fact. But let's just take a second to decompose what the brain is, because it really is magical. Even our fastest, most advanced computers that are advancing every single day at this insane pace are only a fraction of what the brain can do and what the brain has always been able to do. So I want you to imagine something that makes you super happy. Maybe it's a place or a person or a total fantasy world. Just imagine it for a second and you're there. Then remember your favorite memory from your childhood. Think about all those laughs that you had, and the ability to bring up that memory so vividly is there. Think about a lesson in your life that you've kept with you all these years. Do you like orgasms? Do you like making things? Do you like talking? Do you like learning? All of these things are possible in this incredible capacity because we have a brain. When you think about it, it's just like an organ. It's like this kind of weird mesh of squishy tissues, right? So how is it that when I think about something, I'm seeing a visual image of this thing before my eyes, and I can actually imagine pictures and words, and there's this constant inner voice that's continuously talking to me, or I'm talking to me, I guess, about what's going on. And not only is it just saying things that I could say, but it's putting things together and drawing conclusions. And not just that, it's making things, it's visualizing things that don't even exist yet. We want our brains to be as strong as possible because look at what we can create with it. Everything that ever is or was first thought. So we want our brains to be in the best health possible because the capacity of them is outstanding. It's magical. It's incredible. The fact that just take a look around wherever you are right now. Take a look at this computer or device that you're on right now. Everything around you that was man-made was first thought of by a brain. It was first pulled into someone's consciousness by, I don't know. That's the question I definitely can't answer. Our brains are incredibly important. And so there are some awesome tips that we can have to help our brains just be in their absolute best health. Two things I think that are most important, and the first is obviously to have the best nutrition for your brain. Your brain works with your body. We know how our body works. If we want to put in good food, we're going to have a good output. And the brain is the most important output, I think, because of all the incredible capabilities that it has. You know, everything else in our body is just made to work our bodies, right? But the brain is working to create things outside of the body. Having good nutrition, having good brain health is vital to anything else that you want to do in life, pretty much. Because if you're brain dead, well, you can't do anything. We want to have lots of foods high in vitamin E and foods high in omega-3 oils. There are lots of plant foods that contain these nutrients, and I'm going to link obviously everything down below. And then on the flip side of having good nutrition, we want to make sure that we are cutting out any kind of neurotoxin. There are a lot of neurotoxins out there in our world right now because of all of the unnatural chemicals that aren't really meant for human ingestion, but they're finding their way into our foods with pesticides and herbicides and preservatives and chemicals into our foods and all these processed ingredients. It's going into our blood and it's going to affect our brains eventually. This is not a fact, but this is just a conclusion that I've drawn, is that in the last 60 years or so, and since in the 50s we started to process our foods and add chemicals into them, and since then, we've started to see a huge rise in mental health disorders. There are millions of people suffering from ADHD and depression and bipolar and OCD and anxiety and all of these things. It's not because they're doing anything, it's just because these are chemicals that are kind of like built into our worlds now. And so we really need to get rid of them. And you know, maybe even your parents, they had a lot of these foods, not even realizing it because we didn't know the effects back then. And then when they have kids, that kind of transfers down into the brain development. And that can definitely throw off some things. This is just totally my opinions. If we can get away from these processed foods, I definitely see that our brain health will improve and mental illness should significantly go down. As well as we start to focus on treatment that's away from pills and more into natural remedies like psychedelics potentially. We'll see. So nutrition is obviously key. Good nutrition, getting out the bad stuff, obviously key. We know that. Second thing is to use our brains, which obviously sounds so duh. Not just using our brains to think, but using our brains to critically think and to put things together. And you know when you're thinking about something and you're like, I don't know, pushing forward from that and finding out helps to strengthen what's called ganglia in our brain, which helps to make us even smarter. The more we push our brains, the smarter we will be, and the more things we can start to pull from wherever we're pulling these ideas from. I think creativity is one of the most incredible phenomenons ever. We are literally taking things and making new things in our heads. We are literally pulling ideas from who knows where and being able to put that into something you can hold. I think it is such an incredible thing when you get this idea and then you can make it and hold it in your hand. That's an incredible process. And it's all thanks to our brains and our hands. So let's use creativity. Creativity is one of the most incredible things. The more you use it, the more you have. One of my favorite parts of brain health is social activities. Getting out there, we don't even have to get out there, but just interacting with humans and having these social conversations, which is awesome because there are so many critical conversations we need to be having today about all the things that are going on in the world, our diets, our health, our world, our people, our social structures, and the way that we think about things all needs to be talked about. So let's start talking about it because it's going to help our brains even more. And then lastly is just physical activity and just being active. It's going to help your overall body and it's just going to help your brain be even stronger. So final takeaway, give your brain what it needs, cut out the shit that's going to harm it, use your creativity, use your brain, think about things, pull ideas from wherever they come from. And get out there, be active, engage with your community, engage with your family and your loved ones, and you will have a healthy brain for a very long time.